The giant saguaro cactus is a defining sculpture in the southwestern landscape. And while we have several of them on site here, this one behind me is really special and is probably our most photographed cactus, as it sits at the front of the garden and greets guests as they approach. This cactus was donated to us by a local family here in Boulder City, Nevada. It was transplanted into our garden on March 17th, thus he was given the name St. Patrick. St. Patrick stands about 25 feet tall and is approximately 75 years old, as estimated by our head gardener and curator, Steve Bowden. Steve, as some of you may know, is a retired Mars associate who worked at both Waco and in Henderson, and has devoted the last 13 years to put his gardening love to use and work here by taking care of our garden, making sure it's in pristine condition, and setting all the lights up for the holiday season.
Behind me, we have a prickly pear cactus. Most prickly pear cacti have red, yellow, or purple flowers, and they bloom in the spring. These beauties range in height from about 1 feet to 7 feet tall. Most prickly pear cacti also bear fruit. It looks just like this. You can actually eat this fruit, and although I haven't personally tried it myself, I have had an Ethel prickly pear satin cream. Fun fact, the puree inside this yummy treat is made with the fruit from the prickly pear cactus, just like the one behind me. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites.
No one comes to a botanical garden looking and hoping to see dead plants, do they? Yet this is exactly what's behind us. These are the beautiful skeletal remains of the decomposed saguaro cactus. These were purchased in 1984 by Forest Mars to add a little bit of visual interest to the garden, and they're still today a very popular spot for tourists that want to come and take photos.
There's so much more to see at the Ethel Cactus Garden. We hope you can come and visit us in person real soon.
Hello, everyone. Can you honk if you hear me right now? All right. I like this. You know, it is the age of a pandemic, but we are working to bring such a special holiday event to you, the lighting of the Ethel Cactus Garden. Thank you all, our VIPs, for being here. We appreciate you so much. My name is Mercedes. I am on Mix 94.1 in the morning and Las Vegas Now on Channel 8 in the afternoon. And I am honored to MC again. I was not here last year because of COVID, and just to be back with all of you guys, this is so special. So thank you for being a part. We're doing things a little differently this year. If you're hearing me on the speakers here, that is great, but you could also tune your car radio. I can't believe I'm promoting another radio station right now. 101.3, temporarily. 101.3, and you'll be able to hear everything that is going on. We have some very special guests to introduce to you to, and we want to make sure that you can hear everyone. This is one of our favorite holiday traditions. It is so special, and we're glad that it is back. Over 1 million lights are going to turn on behind me. I know it's warm out. It's sunny out. Things are getting darker, and we're just so happy to be here. You're going to have, you got your little cups of hot chocolate, the little tickets for that, so you can have some hot chocolate a little bit later. We have some surprises coming up, but right now I'd like to introduce you to someone very special, the Senior Director of Operations here at Ethel Chocolates. Please honk your horns for Viviana Dickinson.
Thank you, Mercedes, and welcome all to Ethel Chocolate's 28th annual Holiday Cactus Garden Lighting. And it is a very special year for our over 150 associates, because this year we celebrated our 40th anniversary here in Henderson. Forrest Mars Sr., who brought some of the most beloved chocolate brands to our lives, such as M&M's and Snickers, retired here in Henderson in the late 70s. He loved the desert, and he loved what he saw as growth in Las Vegas, but he still had a lingering desire to create a premium box chocolate line using the most amazing ingredients from around the world to pay homage to his mother, Ethel, who gave him the art of chocolate making. So he opened a chocolate factory. That's right here in the Mojave Desert, and planted the lovely 3.5-acre cactus garden that you see behind me. And in 1981, Ethel M. Chocolates was born. And 28 years ago, we started lighting the cactus garden in a holiday tradition. This year, we will be taking reservations for our cactus garden for a group of 6 with a $5 donation. And I want to share some information about that donation. It is being split evenly between our 2 nonprofit partners, 3 Square and Help of Southern Nevada. 3 Square was founded in 2007, and their mission is to provide wholesome meals to hungry people while passionately pursuing a hunger-free community. In 2019, 3 Square distributed 41 million meals in our community. Help of Southern Nevada for 50 years has been helping people help themselves. Through various programs, Help of Southern Nevada helps families overcome barriers towards independent living. Huge thanks to 3 Square and Help of Southern Nevada for the devoted support of our community. And I'd like to share a few things. First off, I'd like to thank all in our community who have helped Ethel M. Chocolates continue this holiday tradition. I'd like to thank our media champions, Mercedes, Kevin Janison, Ted Florindo. Thank you so much for loving our annual event and coming out every year. Congratulations to our 40 Instagram winners who will be the first to enter our garden this year. Special thanks to Jacqueline and John. Yes. Special thanks to Jacqueline and John Mars for their enthusiastic support of our 40th anniversary tributes. And finally, I'd like to recognize Lisa Vanderson, our marketing manager, and William Clements, our senior VP of Mars Premium Brands and Sponsorship, for their creativity and passion in putting together a memorable year of events for our 40th anniversary. And now I know it doesn't feel like the holidays, but ready or not, happy holidays to all of you. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Mercedes?
Okay, Viviane, don't go too far because we're gonna need you up here. First of all, the honking thing is amazing. Keep doing that for the applause. I love that. I think we need to incorporate this more when things get back to normal. This is fantastic. All right, so in recognition of Ethel M. Chocolate's 40 years in the Las Vegas Valley, we have a couple of special guests tonight. This is really, really cool. We would like to invite them up to recognize the company's contributions to, I would not just say locally, but really to the world, because that's how big this brand is. Please welcome Eric Cardona, Governor Sisolak's Constituent Services Manager. Let's hear those horns.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. On behalf of the governor wanted me to recognize Viviana. On behalf of the governor, I'm going to read out a certificate of recognition for this special occasion. In honor of the 40th anniversary of Ethel M. Chocolates in Nevada, Forrest Mars Sr. created Ethel M. Chocolates in his mother's honor over 40 years ago. The craftsmanship and the care required to create each batch of Ethel M. Chocolates continues to remain unchanged since its opening in 1981. As governor of the great state of Nevada, I congratulate you on this special occasion and for continuing to create specially premium chocolates infused with a precise blend of love, art, and science for many Nevadans to enjoy. Thank you so much. There you go. Awesome. I wish you guys success and everything. I have my family here as well, so we'll be enjoying with the rest of you at the end of the event. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Eric. What an honor. That is so great. Just such an important part of this community. Viviana, you and everyone here at Ethel M, we're so grateful for you. Now we want to introduce you to someone else that helps make this Ethel M Chocolates Factory be what it is today, and that is Leon Thomas, the Ethel M Chocolates plant manager. And along with Leon, I'd like to introduce to you Henderson Mayor Deborah Marsh.
Thank you very much. What a pleasure it is to be here tonight. And happy holidays to all of you. Yeah, let's hear a little noise for the holidays. I am so thrilled to be able to join you out here. This is one of my favorite events every year when we turn on the lights here at the Cactus Garden. This is so special for our community. And I believe the lights are going to be on for about 2 months. So folks can come out here for the next couple of months. Henderson is thrilled to be able to celebrate the 40th year of this plant in this location here in Henderson. And of course, the 28th year that we've been turning on the lights here in the community. And thank you very much to this wonderful corporation who commits so much to our community. Not only do they have 150 employees that work here at this location, but they also give back to community. And as we heard earlier, that they're going to be helping out Help of Southern Nevada and also 3 Square. So they are making a difference. They are changing and improving lives of the folks who live, work, and play in our community. And I couldn't be more thrilled to present this certificate to Leon, the plant manager. Thank you, Leon.
Thank you so much, May March. We really appreciate you coming out, and we're really excited about our guests here tonight. And we're going to have a great evening tonight for you. Thank you.
Thank you both so much for everything that you guys do. Thank you, Mayor Marsh, for what you do for this community. And thank you, Leon, for bringing us the coolest place in Henderson. We appreciate you. All right, you guys are getting close to the countdown. I know the sun is still up, but I have a very special guest that I think is coming. I hear some bells. I hear if we honk a little bit, he might get here a little faster. And there he is, the man himself. It is Santa Claus. Santa, Merry November 5th and Merry Christmas.
Christmas to you. It's so wonderful to see you. You look marvelous.
You are the star of the show. Let's be honest here. I'm only trying to be as cool as the big man in the red suit.
Well, you know what? Ethel M Chocolates is really the star of the show. They've been doing this for so long. And it's such a pleasure to come out here from the North Pole to be with all of you right now. And I look forward to seeing you in the back at the pavilion when we get done here.
Now, Santa, I mean, you are really coming down to the end here. You don't have a ton of time making those toys, but you're still going to carve out time in that busy schedule to be here every night up and through December 23rd, right?
That's correct. I'll be here, and I look forward to seeing all of you. You know, my elves have been very, very busy this year, and they are making toys like you would not believe. And they're right now getting ready to load up my sleigh. And the reindeer are all playing reindeer games, having a great time. Mrs. Claus has been fattening me up with her wonderful cookies.
I think you just look healthy. I wouldn't say fattening you up. You look healthy.
Well, I feel marvelous, I'll tell you.
Now, if I just pick some people in the crowd, can you tell me if they're on the naughty or nice list? What about Ted Florendo there from Channel A? Is he on the naughty or the nice list?
Oh, you know what? I checked my list and I checked it twice. He was very good this year.
Oh, very good. All right. Where's Kevin Jamison? I know he's from Channel 3. How about Kevin? How is he? Has he been naughty or nice?
He's also been very good this year.
Is there anyone here that's been naughty? Don't say me, please. That person who does honk the horn. Do you have someone naughty in the car, or have they been nice? 1 honk for nice, 2 for naughty.
There we go. That's marvelous.
That's a lot of honks. Santa Claus, thank you. We can't wait to see you. Everyone give a big lot of love, lots of honks for Santa.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a wonderful time.
All right, we're going to take a couple of minutes and the countdown will begin shortly to get these lights on. So enjoy, listen to some Christmas music in your car, and in just a few minutes, we are gonna, I was gonna say flip the switch, but we're actually gonna hit the app. So that's coming up in just a couple of minutes.
About 2 minutes.
Okay, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining us. You are our VIPs here for the Ethel M. Chocolates Factory Cactus Lighting Ceremony. It's happening in less than 2 minutes. Just want to give everyone a brief little rundown of what is going to happen. After the lights come on, you will be instructed by a security guard when your party in your car can get out. We want to do this safely. We want to create a little bit of space between everyone. It should be very easy to get in and out. You have some coupons for hot chocolate. There is a big hot chocolate food truck in the back that you can redeem those there and enjoy that as you're walking around. And really, it looks light out here, but you're still going to see the beautiful lights, and you're welcome to stay and check that out. We have a one-way system going. So we ask that you keep going in the same direction and make this as fluid as possible. We're about to go live on the air on Channel 3. And when Kevin gives me the signal, he says 1 minute. We want those horns honking. We want it to sound like a party, and we are going to have some fun doing this countdown. So again, thank you all so much for being our VIPs. Thank you all for joining us. You guys are going to get to see this before everyone else. And we're just really grateful that we could do this in person again. We love you guys. You guys are so great. So I'm guessing we're probably around the 30-second mark. So we're going to get things going here. But again, Merry Christmas to all. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate. I am so happy that we can all be here together in person doing this. It has been way too long. I missed you guys last year, and this is such a fun event. So thank you so much for that. And with that, let's get those horns going. Oh, Kevin's not going to be able to hear. We are all right. Are you here? I'll do it. I got the app. So we'll hit the app when we do the countdown. Are we ready? We're going to do the countdown right now. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Christmas! Woo! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Thank you all for being here. We are so happy to get this season started. Thank you, Ethel M. Chocolates, and enjoy the beautiful cactus garden. Thank you all so much.
It is officially the holidays here at Ethel M Chocolates. No matter how many times I see that cactus garden lit up with over 1 million lights, it never ceases to amaze me. Hello and welcome. I'm Mark Mackey, Chief Chocolatier of Ethel M Chocolates. We are so excited to bring you our second annual online holiday cactus garden lighting. We know that whether you are celebrating here in our garden or from the comfort of your own home, the best way to enjoy our holiday cactus garden featuring over 1 million LED lights is with a delicious cup of Ethel M hot chocolate in your hand. So without further ado, I'd like to present to you 4 delicious and unique hot chocolate recipes. If you received our cactus garden lighting kit, now is the time to grab your hot chocolate tin and follow along, making the recipe that sounds best to you and your family. If you don't have all of the ingredients right now, that's okay. We'll have this video online soon so you can follow along later in the season for special occasions like Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Christmas. Now, in order to craft the perfect hot chocolate, we blend together our creamy Ethel M milk and bittersweet dark chocolates. Then finally grate them so they melt quickly and easily. In fact, all you need to create our famous hot chocolate at home is milk and our hot chocolate tin. Or if you're like me and want to get a little more creative, I'll share some tasty variations with you in just a few minutes. So I'll start by heating my milk till it's 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, since I'm making 4 cups of hot chocolate, I'm going to add 4 cups of milk and whisk in 1 cup of our hot sipping chocolate. Now I'm using milk today, but if you'd like to kind of make a little bit more of a creamy, indulgent hot chocolate, you can substitute out some of the milk for heavy cream or even a little half and half as well. In fact, you can actually use coconut milk or even oat milk as well. Now we're going to heat this up to 160 degrees. It's really important not to go above that temperature because we don't want to develop any scorched or any burnt flavors in that hot chocolate mix. So 160 degrees is the perfect temperature. So once this gets up to temperature here, we can go ahead and use that as a delicious hot chocolate, or we can take it to the next level by adding in a few other ingredients. For my first cup, I think we'll make a kid-friendly version. And I'll start by taking a clean mug here and got a little fork and some melted, this is actually melted chocolate, or you can use our actual hot chocolate mix. Because the mix is 100% chocolate, you can melt it just like you would melt chocolate in the microwave. Here I'm using a little bit to drizzle the inside of the glass. I'll ladle a little hot chocolate in. And I think kids like whipped cream, right? So we'll add a nice big dollop of whipped cream on top. Maybe, oh, I know, some M&Ms. We have some M&M minis here. And I think maybe also a little drizzle of caramel sauce. Perfect. All right, for my next cup, I think I'll swirl in some of my favorite nut butter. Now I'm using pecan butter here today, but feel free to try it with almond, peanut, or even macadamia butter. Now if you have a nut allergy, you could also use cookie butter for a very similar flavor. Actually, to start with this hot chocolate, I'm actually going to take another cup and I'm going to just rim the edge here in a little bit more of that melted chocolate, and then I'm actually going to dip it into some chopped pecan brittle. So I'm gonna have some delicious pecan butter, some of our chopped pecan brittle here is a wonderful garnish. Some hot chocolate here first. Now I'm gonna swirl in a little bit of that delicious pecan butter. A little more whipped cream on top. And why not? Maybe just a few more little pieces of that chopped brittle on top. How does a pumpkin spiced hot chocolate sound? With our hot chocolate mix, it's easy. Just add 1/8 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. It's about 1/8 teaspoon. And for a little bit of citrus twist, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of fresh grated orange zest. It's important when you're zesting here to make sure that you don't go over the same spot. You don't want to get any of that bitter pith into the hot chocolate, just that outer zest layer. Wonderful. And that's it. Now, for those of you that like a little caffeine, you can also add a shot of espresso or coffee for a pumpkin spice chocolate latte. So for this pumpkin spice chocolate, hot chocolate, I'm going to decorate this glass with a little bit more chocolate here. Beautiful. See that orange zest right at the top? It looks really nice. There you go. A little more whipped cream here. I think we'll top with a little more caramel sauce. There you have it. Now for our final version, I'll add 1/2 cup to 1 cup of my favorite chocolate stout. That's right, chocolate and beer. Believe it or not, this is actually a wonderful pairing that even non-beer drinkers will enjoy. And if you'd like, you can even whisk a little bit of the stout into your whipped cream for a little more of that chocolate stout flavor. Here I have a Sam Smith chocolate stout. I'm gonna add just about 1/2 cup here to my hot chocolate mix. Whisk that up. Heat that for just a few minutes, back up to temperature. And for this one, I think I'll decorate the glass with some chopped peppermint pieces or crushed candy canes. So here I have another clean glass. I'm going to, really important too, if you're kind of dipping or rimming multiple glasses, just tap the chocolate and that's gonna flatten it back out so you have a perfectly flat and even surface to that chocolate edge. Perfect. Now I'm gonna pull out some of my crushed candy canes or chopped peppermint pieces here. And this is just a really thin, small plate. Really is going to allow for a lot of surface area, so I can get the full rim and the edge of that cup or mug down into the candy cane pieces. And there you go. Beautiful. Now I have one here that I prepared a little earlier. Of course, top it off with just a little bit more cream. Beautiful. And there you have it, 4 delicious hot chocolate preparations. Now I think I'll turn it back over to Lisa with our head landscaper Steve out in the garden. Lisa?
Hi everyone, and welcome to our 28th annual Cactus Garden Lighting and Cactus Lights and Creamy Bites online experience. I'm Lisa, the Marketing and PR Manager here at Ethel, and I am here with Steve, our Master Garden Curator. And we are going to do a quick live Q&A with him tonight so you understand better how all of this comes to life. So Steve, the first question, the million-dollar question everyone always asks is, how long does all of this take?
This takes us 6 weeks. 6 weeks from the time we start putting up lights till we finish putting up lights. Beyond that, we start about 4 weeks prior, testing lights, making sure the lights are all working before we bring them up here to install them. So you're really looking at 10 weeks out of the year. We're playing with lights to put in the garden again.
And those are pretty hot 10 weeks too, right?
Yeah, you know, it's really hard to get in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
When you're back in September, late August, and it's 110.
Exactly.
It's not a happy day. And then finally, when we're almost done, we have weather like tonight.
Yep.
Where it's beautiful, we get breezes, and it's nice and crisp.
Crisp, yeah. It feels like the holidays are coming.
Feels like Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. So Steve, this is our 28th annual lighting ceremony here in person. Tell us how this started all those years ago.
Well, all those years ago, it actually started as an extension for the shop decorations. This knoll that you see right here behind us was the only knoll that was decorated, and just along the front of the parking lot.
So Steve, for the folks at home tonight, we know they won't be able to physically walk around, but if they're able to come out next year, what's your favorite part of the garden they should check out?
My favorite area is the golden barrel section, which is back about an acre and a half from us here. When you get back there, you've got an enclosed area with tons of red around you, and it just feels like that red-green Christmas. So it's a fun area to be in.
So sort of traditional look, but untraditional landscape.
Exactly.
Nice. All right, Steve, so it looks like a lot of lights, but can you help us understand how many lights exactly are out here?
There's 1 million lights in the garden. And when I say 1 million lights, that may be 1 million individual bulbs. That may be 1 million combination impressions with whether it be sparkles coming down or whatever it is. In addition to that, it takes us over 12 miles of extension cords.
Oh, wow.
To run through this garden to keep all this lit.
Wow. Where do you get these cool lights that hang down? Can you give away your trade secret?
That's a secret that we don't tell them.
A lot of people like those, including myself.
They're really nice. They're called
cool.
meteor lights. So I'll let you do your own research
Okay.
on the internet.
Meteor lights, people.
And you can find them.
So when you're working with these cacti, obviously your skin is something you have to keep in mind. How many pairs of gloves do you guys go through every year?
Well, we become leather gloves ourselves by the end of this, but we go through the crew. There's 4 of us, and we go through 4 to 6 pairs of gloves a day.
A day?
Each.
Wow.
You know, there's a point where you can't pull the thorns out anymore, so you throw them away. So we go through really a gross 144 pair of gloves in those 6 weeks. So it's an amazing amount of gloves.
Wow.
That's one of the expenses of the lights. But you know, people ask, don't you ever get tired of getting stuck? I said, well, we do that 365 days a year. We get stuck. We just get stuck more when we're putting on.
That's true. That's true. And I think another misperception that people have is that we leave the lights up year round.
Oh no, they come down. Every year they all come down and they all go back up.
Right. Yeah.
So,
because we want to make sure the plants are taken care of all year, and
that's the thing that people don't understand is if you leave them on, the plants grow into them, and then the lights go bad. The plants are damaged, so we take them down.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps up our Q&A with Steve. Thanks for your time, Steve. And at this point, we'll send it back to Mark. Chocolate tasting.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed another beautiful visit to our cactus garden. Now, hopefully you still have some of your hot chocolate left, but if you've already finished it, don't worry. We've got plenty more chocolate to enjoy. If you received our Cactus Garden Lighting Kit, please get your box of chocolates out along with your tasting mat and a cup or bottle of water to help cleanse your palate in between each piece. Tonight, I'll be guiding you on a chocolate journey where we will be using all of our senses to truly experience each piece of chocolate in our holiday Cactus Garden Lighting Kit. We'll start by picking up each piece. Look at it. Is it bumpy? Is it smooth? Is it glossy? Is it matte? We want to smell our pieces. A lot of what we're tasting in our mouth is experienced through our olfactory senses in our nose. Sometimes, depending on how cool it is in your home, I like to rub the side or the bottom of the piece to kind of activate some of those aroma compounds. Obviously, taste is very important, but think about the flavors and the textures that you're experiencing. What sensations are you experiencing? What about the aftertaste? Believe it or not, we'll also be listening to our chocolate as well. Now, take a look down at your placemat and you'll see an area to capture notes on each of the sensory elements that we will be experiencing tonight. Also on your placemat, you'll see a wheel with many different aroma and flavor categories, as well as the specific notes that are found in each of our chocolates. Each chocolate we taste will be a little bit different, and everyone's tastes are also a little bit different, so feel free to share what you're experiencing with your friends or family members nearby. As I said before, it's also important to have a glass of water nearby to cleanse your palate between each piece to refresh your taste buds. For our tasting tonight, we've also selected 3 optional wine pairings. The first is a white wine option. This is an Alsatian Pinot Gris from Alsace, France. You've got some wonderful stone fruit, citrus flavors, going to contrast some of those buttery notes and creamy notes in the white chocolate and milk chocolate pieces. Second, we have a Pinot Noir from the Russian River Valley in California. This has a lot of red fruit, juicy, jammy notes that are going to add some juiciness to those pieces as well. Finally, we have our exquisite 20-year aged Tawny Port. This is a fortified wine which offers some wonderful brown fruit, raisin notes, and a little bit of spice that's going to complement some of those warm fall spices in our pecan pie, pumpkin spice, and pecan pie piece. So let's get started with our white chocolate peppermint silk piece. The first thing you'll notice about this piece is that beautiful bright red color coming from the colored cocoa butter spray that is hand airbrushed onto each individual piece. This is a molded truffle made with white chocolate peppermint ganache and this white chocolate shell. Now let's pick the piece up and bring it up to your nose. Take a nice deep breath. Don't worry, nobody's looking at you. What aromas are you getting? You should be getting some of that beautiful peppermint coming through, maybe some milk notes, some dairy, but you may notice you're not getting a lot of chocolate, right? That's because this piece is made with white chocolate, and so it doesn't contain any cocoa solids. Now let's taste. I'll take a bite of about half the piece. Look at the inside. See that beautiful white chocolate peppermint ganache. Take your tongue and press the piece up against the roof of your mouth. That's gonna start getting everything melting down together. You should be getting those bright peppermint notes, some of the creamy notes, dairy notes, maybe just a hint of caramel as well. Now the white chocolate's gonna start to melt and introduce more sweet vanilla, cream, a little more of that mint flavor lingering. It's really nice and rounded too. You get a little bit of the mint, a little bit of the chocolate all working together nicely. Now for this piece, we actually start off with a traditional ganache, which is really just a fancy word for an emulsion of heavy cream and chocolate. For our ganache, we're gonna heat cream until it's just below the boiling temperature. Then we're immediately gonna pour that over our tempered white chocolate to melt it slowly. And we're gonna emulsify all that together in our vacuum kettle, which is gonna remove all of the air and give us that perfectly creamy texture that we're striving for. Finally, we gently fold in softened butter and 10-fold vanilla extract with a touch of salt to finish that ganache, and deposit it into the center of our peppermint silk molds, which again get air brushed by hand with that beautiful red colored cocoa butter. What did you all think? Take a look down at your placemat, capture any notes that you'd like to on that piece before we move on to our next. All right, let's move on to our milk chocolate pecan pie piece. Notice that little bit of like a teardrop shape here. Again, some more colored cocoa butter. We have some copper, a little bit of gold speckled there on top. Bring it up to your nose. Nice deep breath again. What are you smelling? Now we're getting a little bit more, a lot more of a chocolate aroma, right? Getting some of that milk chocolate coming through, roasted cocoa, maybe a little bit of dairy as well. Do you smell the pecans coming through the piece? Now let's taste. Notice that little bit of snap that you heard when I bit into the piece. That's a hallmark of properly tempered chocolate. Look at the inside. All that wonderful pecan pie flavor, that pecan pie ganache coming out. I'm getting sweet pecan, nutty flavors. A little bit of cocoa, cooked milk, brown sugar coming out as well. Now the milk chocolate's gonna start to melt. Introduce some cocoa, caramelized milk, vanilla. Take it again, rub it up against the roof of your mouth. Think about the aftertaste. You're gonna have a little bit of sweetness with some of that caramelized brown sugar pecan flavor and sweetness remaining. Now to make this piece, we start by taking fresh roasted California pecans, which we grind into a creamy pecan butter. Then we make a chocolate ganache, just as before, but this time with the addition of that creamy pecan butter. We'll add some brown sugar, vanilla, and when we cool it, we're gonna then deposit it into our pecan pie molds, which again gets sprayed with that copper and yellow colored cocoa butter, gives it that beautiful pop on the outside of the piece. Go ahead and take a sip of water, refresh your palate before we move on to our next piece. All right, let's move on to our next piece, our white chocolate pumpkin pie. Notice the beautiful white chocolate shell with that airbrushed orange and red colored cocoa butter on there. Beautiful. Glossy appearance, again, a little like a teardrop shape here. Bring it up to your nose. Nice deep breath. You should get a little bit of that pumpkin coming through along with some milk, dairy. You smell the pumpkin, right? All right, let's taste. The pumpkin ganache is getting pretty strong. It's melting pretty quickly on my tongue. Now I'm introducing some spices. I'm getting some cinnamon, clove, warm fall spices. Chew it a few times, press it up against the roof of your mouth again. Get that white chocolate that's starting to melt. Introducing some creamy notes, a little bit of dairy and white chocolate, vanilla. It's cutting a little bit of that spiciness, a little bit of that pumpkin. For this piece, we start off with a chocolate ganache center made with white milk and dark chocolate. And then we're gonna add all of the ingredients of pumpkin pie, from pumpkin puree, ginger, clove, cinnamon, allspice, all of those wonderful fall spices. Once the ganache is finished, we're then going to deposit it in the center of our shell and spritz a little bit of that orange colored cocoa butter with a little bit of red to finish the piece. Now think about the aftertaste. You should be getting some sweetness from the white chocolate with some of those fall spices kind of there in the background as well. Capture any notes that you'd like on this piece. All right, now we're gonna taste our first dark chocolate piece. This is our dark chocolate eggnog. Pick up the piece. Notice again the nice glossiness, shininess. Again, this is paramount in high quality tempered dark chocolate. Bring that up to your nose. Now you should be getting a very different aroma. We're gonna be getting more roasted cocoa, deeper, darker roasted notes. Maybe some coffee, some espresso. You smell that? Are you getting any of that eggnog aroma coming through the piece? Take a bite. Notice that slight crunch to the tempered dark chocolate shell. Notice how silky smooth that ganache center is on your tongue. It's going to start to melt, getting some dairy notes with a little warmth from the rum or the bourbon. Warm spice notes, again those fall spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove. Press it up against the roof of your mouth and notice that this piece actually is melting a little slower, or the shell is melting a little slower than the last few pieces. And that's because this is a dark chocolate piece, which contains more cocoa solids, and so that actually slows down the melting process a little bit. So it changes the experience as well. Introducing that dark chocolate, it's gonna bring in some bitterness, again, roasted cocoa, coffee notes. Cutting those really nicely. Now this piece, we're gonna start off very similar to how we did with the peppermint piece, but instead of adding peppermint, we're going to add our eggnog, winter spices like clove, ginger, cinnamon, and a splash of bourbon and rum. Think about the aftertaste now. We get now a little bit more bitterness kind of remaining on your palate, some of that dark chocolate lingering. Take some notes that you'd like to remember that piece and some of the flavors. All right, now we've made it to our last few pieces, which are actually a pair. We have our dark and milk chocolate fudge. Pick up those pieces here. Notice that nice square cube shape. This is a handmade, hand-cut fudge, which we enrobe in our semi-sweet dark chocolate or creamy milk chocolate and top with this logoed chocolate wafer on top there. Beautiful way to garnish that piece. Bring it up to your nose, get a nice little breath there of the aroma. A little more chocolate, getting some of those fudge notes coming through as well. Take a bite. Look at that creamy, fudgy texture. Starting to melt. A lot of dark chocolate, cocoa, sweetness, a little bitterness, and perfect fudge, deeply satisfying aftertaste. Now our last piece of the evening is very similar to the dark chocolate fudge. This is our milk chocolate fudge, which offers a little bit more of a caramelized milk flavor and a little bit more sweetness than the dark chocolate fudge piece. Lift that up to your nose. Notice those milkier notes coming out. Again, some of that caramelized sugar, caramelized milk. We actually get that through a process called crumb, or the milk crumb process, when we make our milk chocolate. So we'll actually take some of the chocolate itself with some of the sugar and the milk powder, and we'll actually caramelize those under vacuum, and that'll develop those beautiful caramelized milk and caramelized sugar notes that you'll find in our Ethel M milk chocolate pieces, including this one. Take a bite, that beautiful center there. Notice it's just the perfect texture. It doesn't stick to your teeth. Soft, smooth, creamy. It starts to melt right away. Sweetness. That milk chocolate starts to melt in, introduce some of that caramelized milk and caramelized sugar note that I just talked to. Notice no grittiness, no graininess. This is silky smooth on your tongue. Capture any notes that you'd like on that piece. And that is officially our last piece of the night. If you liked what you tasted, you could always get more at any of our stores across Las Vegas, in Glendale, California, or visit us online at ethelm.com. With Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's just around the corner, there are plenty of reasons to celebrate with friends and family. Thank you for spending the evening with us here at Ethel M Chocolates. Now, we'll take you back for one final look at the Cactus Garden before Viviana Dickinson closes out the evening.
Hello again. We hope you all enjoyed our second online holiday cactus garden lighting, hot chocolate making, and chocolate tasting. Tonight was just the start of the holiday season. Over the next 8 weeks, we will all be immersed in our holiday preparations and in planning our gatherings for family and friends. As you plan these festivities, we invite you to include the special edition of Ethel M Chocolates to your Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year celebrations. Happy holidays to all, from our family to yours.